Congratulations on this brand new album. I've had a chance to sit down and take a listen to it. It's an amazing album, and we've already been playing Bad Medicine on our show, and people are loving it.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, we appreciate that.
So, I was wondering if you could start off by telling us a little bit about how this new album has come about so quickly. We just enjoyed your first album back in January, and now you've already got another album ready to go.
Yeah. So we did. We dropped our first album in January. That was Turning to Ashes. And then with everything that was going on with COVID, most of the musicians were kind of at a standstill. So for us, we sort of took advantage of that, writing new material. So what we did was we busted out some new songs. We decided they were actually ready to go, and we just put them together into the second album, and it just happened to be available to hit it up in November.
Awesome. So, tell us a little bit about what the COVID experience was like for you guys there. Here in Melbourne, we were locked down for 6 months. It was the longest lockdown that we did. What was that lockdown like for you guys there? And did you just spend that entire time writing?
Oh, yeah, it was a pretty similar. We didn't have, complete lockdown here, but we had a lot of restrictions. It was essential workers only going to work. I actually was one of those people, so I just kind of worked business as usual through it. So yes, I have a day job too. But we did. We really just took advantage of all the spare time that we had. We just kept writing music. We were making sure that we took advantage and we tweaked little things. We fine-tuned everything. So as much as, it's really disappointing that happened globally, obviously. But it was a good opportunity for us to just put our heads together, to buckle down, and to just bang out some songs.
So many bands always seem to have that huge gap between the first and second album because they felt pressure after the success of the first album. Did you guys feel any of that pressure at all?
Oh, I don't think so. We're all pretty intensely into making music and playing music. So we were just eager to get it out there. So after we got the first one out, it was almost like you're addicted to it, So we wanted to just hurry up and keep writing stuff, and it worked out the way that it did. That we'll have 2 albums in 1 year. But I don't think we would call that we had any pressure involved in it. It was more just excitement. It was just all we wanted to get it out there. We wanted people to hear. We wanted to grow our fan base and just play as much as possible after that.
So tell us also a little bit about what kind of things were influencing you guys when you were writing. Was the whole, what the world was going through at the time, was that something that was influencing you?
Probably subconsciously. We didn't really take anything political too much, I guess, and put it into songs, like some bands do, and that's awesome that they do it. For me, the writing process kind of bases off of emotion. So, I'll just say anything anybody can relate to. You're feeling depressed. Everybody deals with that at some point in their life. You've got anger over anything, breakups. Pretty normal things. So I tend to draw my influences from that, not so much from current events, I guess.
And I understand that the song Moonlight was influenced a little bit about Beethoven. Tell us a little bit about that, because that was one of my favorite tracks on the album.
So that was something we actually had been throwing that idea around for a while. So we said that would be something that's really cool to do. It's something that's not always going to be the easiest thing to do, because you're taking an iconic song and you're trying to put a spin on it to make it your own. And not many bands have done it, into a hard rock song, but some bands have. You can Google anything at this point and find, whatever you're looking for. So there's some pretty cool covers of it. But for us, classical music, it has its way of intertwining into a lot of different music genres. And we thought it would be really fun to just take the Moonlight Sonata, because everybody knew it, everybody seems to know that one. And it's a really beautiful song, So I had a lot of fun turning that into the rock song that it is and putting lyrics to it to put our take on it. So it was really enjoyable, for everybody. And, we were very proud of the way that one turned out.
Did that feel like it was the most challenging song on the album, to be able to do that, to turn something so classic into something so modern?
Definitely, yeah. I think individually we all had different things, that we were trying to achieve in that song. So for me, just on the bass, I wanted to just really make that low end stand out, because usually in classical music, if it's not like a timpani drum or something really epic, you might pass off the low end like it's the low.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of really boomy, drawn out notes, so that was really cool for me. I know for Kenny, he's our lead guitar player. He put a lot of thought and effort into the different movements. So I think we did 3 separate movements with some kind of spin on it. So for him, he's got, this really epic solo where it's just, I don't even know how he does it, but he's got so many notes jammed into each measure, and it's just phenomenal. So for him, I know that was really, really challenging. But yeah, it was just a really, really fun way of us all getting together creatively and making it into what it turned into. And, again, the best thing I can say to explain it is we're just so proud of the way that turned out.
Yeah, you also mentioned about writing really personal songs, and Beautiful Pain is one of those really personal songs. Tell us a little bit about that track and what was on your mind when you were sitting down to work on Beautiful Pain.
Sure. Yeah, so Beautiful Pain is about recognizing maybe the things that you've done wrong in your life and not being afraid to just own them, to just face it, deal with it, move on, and just learn from it. So that's what Beautiful Pain was set out to encompass. It's like I said earlier, it's a drawn off of emotion. So that would be maybe whether it's grief or denial of some sort. It's just facing it head on and really just accepting what's going on with you. And the beautiful pain of it is that you got something out of it. You grew with it.
And of course, now we're playing Bad Medicine on our station as well for everybody out there who's loving it. What is that track all about?
So Bad Medicine kind of came about by just being sick of being told, like, oh, no big deal, everything's fine. So maybe, that's where I say maybe subconsciously, maybe that has something to do with, all the COVID stuff, and everybody's just saying, like, oh, just sit home, like, it'll pass, it'll this, it'll that. But the bad medicine is, don't tell me everything's fine. Don't tell me it'll be okay. If I want to be worried about something, or if I want to be pissed off about something, then I'm gonna be. And so the lies and the BS and all that crap, that's the bad medicine. So some of that can come from the media too. So anything that basically is just, in so many words, bullshit, that's the bad medicine.
Yeah, and I understand a lot of things were going wrong when you guys were doing the video clip for Bad Medicine as well.
Yeah, and it was funny too, that encompasses the song. So we shot it all in one very small space. Mike has a knack for losing guitar picks, so he managed to lose a handful of guitar picks, and basically he never left the one spot that we shot the video of him standing in. So nobody knows how that was even possible. And Kenny has never had an issue with any of his equipment on stage before. But in the middle of recording this one, he had one of his guitar knobs popped off. So we're like, all right, that was kind of a fluke. He puts it back on. He starts recording again, and a totally different knob popped off his guitar. So it was just like, of all the times for this to happen, it had to be now. But it made sense. That's encompassing the whole song right there.
Definitely. And one of the things that also I love about this album is it was produced by Justin Rose, who of course has worked with one of my favorite bands, the Goo Goo Dolls. Tell us a little bit about what it was like working with Justin and what he brought to your music.
Yeah, Justin is great. That whole team at GCR Audio is fantastic, and that is owned by Robbie Takek of the Goo Goo Dolls. So he's a lot of fun. Justin is really laid back, he's really easy to get along with, and his input is just phenomenal, so you can obviously tell that he's done this for a while, he has a lot of experience, so for us, the very first time that we went in there, we had never done this before. That was our first time in a recording studio in general, so he made the process really easy and really comfortable, and you could just tell that it was years of him doing this and working with other bands that he knew stuff, and he knew how to handle us and how to deal with us to make it a pretty smooth process all around. Which I know sometimes, bands get into a recording studio and they seem to be like figuring their stuff out on the fly. We were the opposite of that. So we took it really seriously. We made sure that we knew our parts. We had everything down going into it. So I think that just added to the seamlessness of getting in the studio and working with Justin. And we ended up working with him on the whole first album, and we did everything again with him on the second album, and I'm sure we'll use him again in the future.
Was it difficult to record this time around because of the essential worker rule and things like that? But did you have to go in at different times when the restrictions lifted?
Actually, no. I think the timing kind of just worked out good when we had our studio time booked. The restrictions here were kind of starting to ease up a bit, so they were opened up. We were allowed to go in the studio. Obviously, we had mask rules in effect, so we just, we followed everything that we were supposed to. But we did get lucky, I think. It was just a good timing for when we had our recording studio time booked versus when things started to open back up for us here.
Awesome. Well, I know there's something that we're very jealous about at the moment. That is that you're about to head out on the road for a tour, which is something that we still can't do here at the moment. How do you guys feel about heading out on the road and being able to play these new songs?
Yeah, we're very, very pumped for this. So we've been looking forward to it for a while. We were out in May for about a week with Smile Empty Soul, and that was awesome. We were in like the Midwest of the U.S., but this time around we're going to be more to the west, more southwest. And again, we're just looking forward to it. There's no feeling that compares to being able to go out on a stage and just play for a crowd that's really amped up and they're really excited to hear your music. So we are looking forward to it. We can't wait. And I know even now in the U.S. there's a lot more hot spots, I think, happening with COVID starting to spike back up in certain areas. So we're hoping that over the next 2 weeks when we're traveling that nothing really hinders this tour. But so far so good. We're going to have fun. We're going to invest in it, and we're just going to get out there and kill it.
Awesome. Well, we're going to take another listen to Bad Medicine on our show now. Is there anything you would like to say to our listeners out there before they take a listen to this amazing track, but also before they pre-order your album as well?
Yeah. Check us out on our social media. We update it as much as possible. We have a website too, heartsandhandgrenades.com. So we put all tour dates out there, and then we also put some exclusive photos, some fun behind-the-scenes stuff. And we worked hard on this album. We're really excited for Bad Medicine, so I hope everybody enjoys it.
Awesome. Well, Steph, thank you so much for taking the time to chat to us today. It's been an absolute pleasure, and hopefully one day we get to see you guys in Australia, because we would absolutely love that.
Yeah, we would love that too. Thank you so much.
No